On the radio.com app, anytime, anywhere. Listen to more than 300 stations, along with more than 3,000 podcasts from your home area or across the U.S., all free.
With the radio.com app.
Michael Devine at AM 1400 KVFD.
Listen to this.
Making radio great again.
That's right. It's a very strange world we live in. Sometimes there's just no doubt about it. I'm done. Senator Tim Kreinbrink is here. Senator Jesse Green. Thank you for coming, guys. Oh, yeah, the camera's on me. Maybe I should just leave it there.
He's so vain.
This is what the people want to see anyway. No. They want to see the big.
He's trying to show off your 50 pounds of weight loss.
Oh no, I gotta get Big Tim in here because he was a quarterback for Paulina High School years ago. A lot of people remember that. Actually, they don't. They're all dead now. Anybody who went to those games, I really do have.
Here, I'll just move over by Jesse.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah. Scrapster can't be here because he doesn't like me. Well, I'll have to get over it. There, I'm over it. He was the star of the show. You remember that every time he was here. All we had to do was open the mic for Scrapster and somebody'd call. All right there, Sexton. What's your position? And they'd want him to explain something. Anyway, I appreciate you both being here. Ann Myers usually, was she here earlier in the week?
Yeah, last week we were here together.
Okay. And she was here one other time by herself too.
And the nice thing is, having Jesse in Webster County, he lives in Webster County, so he's close. He has a separate district, but he touches right up against us. Actually, do you know that he actually has the ATV park?
I didn't know that.
Is in his district.
The ATV park is in your district?
Yeah, so that blacktop that goes to the gypsum mills, that goes
sure, of course.
back, he's got north of that. So he's got Otho.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So you're almost to the city limits of Fort Dodge.
Well, actually, you're in the city limits, aren't you?
The park is the very corner of it.
Okay. Is the park in the city limits? I'll have. Yeah, it's okay to say you don't know. That's an obscure question. I never even
a politician that doesn't know something.
Yeah. See,
Scrappy never had that problem.
No, he always knew. See, we're evolving out of that sort of crap, though. We're going to hold our political figures to a different standard. You have to tell the truth all the time. Where were you? Well, I'd rather not say it. No, we demand it. Okay, I was in the bathroom. You want the detail? Anyway, Senator Green, I'm going to start with you. Of course, you're the new guy on the block, one of the new guys on the block. And we talked. Did we talk last week or earlier this week? I can't remember now.
I think it was last week.
All right. So, and you're on quite a few committees.
Yeah, 8 of them.
Eight
Wow.
of them. Yeah, and you are you the chair of one of them or not?
I'm the vice chair of labor. And
vice chair of labor.
This week, that was all my business was on labor. We had quite a few subcommittee assignments, and that was basically all I did this week.
So did you decide to ban labor completely or what?
No,
we're not going to have labor. We're going to have slaves. Bring the slaves on. No. What do you?
Did you run a subcommittee?
Yep.
So what subcommittee did you run?
It was on subcommittee on labor. The first bill that we went through was in regards to adoptive parents, making sure that we treat them the same as biological parents in the workforce, and it was a bipartisan bill. I believe it went through last year out of the Senate, but then sat in the House. So that was a nice, easy.
What are you referring to? I just assumed
like maternity leave.
Yeah, but under the law, aren't adoptive parents don't they enjoy the same rights as biological parents? I mean, if you go
not in the state of Iowa yet. Yeah. That's the law that they're looking at.
Well, that's weird. Yeah. I would have just assumed, hi, we have legally adopted a child. What's the discussion? That should mean that they are parents.
Yeah, but normally they didn't get. It's like a newborn, so they didn't get the 6 weeks of paid maternity leave. So when you adopt a child, I think that's what this bill is about. Maybe you can explain just a little bit more about it.
Well, that's the way I understand it. But then last year, what the divide was in the House is on the age. So the Senate bill
on the age
of the child.
So the Senate bill is for 18 and under, and I believe last year the House was somewhere like 10 and under. Or
why is it that the House in every state in the union are full of lunatics? I don't get. I mean, Ann Myers got to be the only sane person down there.
Yeah.
You know, I just the House is always just a big free for all. You know.
Yesterday I had a little bit of free time after we got done in the Senate and went over to the House to watch them vote on some rules and,
Sure.
and whatnot. And it was entertaining watching them go back and forth about masks for 2 hours. But
And the other thing, Mike, is we have 50 compared to their 100. So,
yeah.
when you have 100 people and half of them want to speak, that's 50 versus 25 on
Right.
our side. So, things can get bogged down over there pretty quickly because you have so many different opinions as well.
What do you guys think about masking policy? Are you on the same page, both of you guys, or do you have different ideas on?
you mean at the Capitol or?
Well, no, in the state of Iowa or the capital, either one. I want the right to carry a bazooka in the state capitol.
Go ahead and try it, Mike.
Yeah, boy, I'd get flattened, wouldn't it?
I don't know. It depends if you had it aimed or not.
You know what I'm talking about, though. The masking policy, I would think, just as a private citizen, should be the same in the Capitol as anywhere else. I mean, I think the city of Fort Dodge tried to make masking mandatory in public buildings, but that fell apart for some reason.
Well, I think they tried to make it in all businesses.
Yeah, you're right. The public buildings and businesses.
And
that
then
fell
if I
apart.
remember, they were going to punish the business
Oh, that's never good.
for people coming in without a mask, which is kind of strange. But, I guess I didn't follow that really closely, but that kind of didn't happen, I don't think, right?
I had an idea a few years ago. We had a fireworks problem. So I suggested to Matt Bremerick when he was in here, well, we'll just make the landlords responsible. The landlord, a 3 strikes policy, landlord, if this is going on in your rental home, we'll warn you twice and we'll fine you $100. My God, they started building a gallows out in front of the radio station. The Landlords Association was down here so fast and hard, I didn't know what happened.
You needed your bazooka.
I really did, but that went nowhere. Matt really wasn't considering it seriously anyway. But I mentioned it 2 or 3 times on here. I didn't think it was a bad idea, but apparently it was, because there was zero support. Probably because I thought of the idea. Are you doing this because of Mike Devine? Because they all want to claim they're never influenced by anybody.
Well, I think a lot of it is political, Mike. I think probably a pretty good percentage of the Republican delegation in our caucus anyway has probably had COVID within the last. There were a couple caucuses that we were going to have that we actually ended up having on phone because that a lot of us were positive,
Right.
and I was one of them. So
Yeah.
I had it back over Thanksgiving and probably about the same time you had it,
Yeah. I had
and maybe a little bit after you had it.
Right.
But the way I understand it now is, at least when I'm giving plasma, either here or in Des Moines, is the opportunity for me to get it again or to give it to anyone, when I'm giving convalescent plasma and have the antibodies, built up in my system, is very, very, very minimal. And for instance, I know that Senator Grassley wore a mask all the time. Anytime I was with him or anytime I saw him anywhere on TV, he had a mask on and he got it.
Yeah.
So,
the mask doesn't prevent.
And that's what I mean, is that I think we can get to the point, to be honest, I was going through a place today and they were giving me change back. And before they gave me the change, they readjusted their mask with their hand. And I thought, okay, it's probably made me more aware that if this person would get the virus off their mask and put it on their hand and then give it the change to me with that hand, what's the use of wearing the mask? Actually, it probably would have been better if they wouldn't have been, because they wouldn't have touched their face,
Yeah.
before they gave me that. So, you know what? It's such a weird and unknown disease that to say one way or the other is absolutely the truth, when the CDC and others have changed their mind 20 times halfway through everything.
I know what you're saying.
I was talking to a constituent today that is upset with the rules of amount of children or students that are allowed to go to ball games. They don't allow students in. They just allow family members and households, into the ball games, and they have to social distance. Well, these kids, if you wear a mask, the kids are together within 2 feet of each other all day long in their classrooms, but they can't go to these games.
Yeah.
Where they're going to be sitting right next to the people they sit by in class.
We're in a difficult position.
And some of these things just don't add up to me. And
Yeah.
it'll all get worked out.
Well, down at the Capitol, I'm curious what normal looks like, but
it
but
looks
so-
like the bar scene in
so-
Star Trek in those
so like in the House, you'll see more masks. But then on subcommittee meetings, I believe they're still required to be in person to vote on subcommittee and also partake in the subcommittee meetings. In the Senate, every one of my subcommittee meetings, me and the other member of the Republicans on that are in person, and then everybody else is on Zoom. So, but then you don't see as many masks on the Senate side. And to me, the whole situation is so distracting down at the Capitol, down in the public, whatever, and it's taken away from the main issues that we should be talking about.
I had COVID pretty bad. I nearly died of it, which doesn't give me any special insight into the disease. I can repeat what the doctors told me, and the doctors told me, frankly, we don't know what this is. We don't, we're just trying to contain it. We have no cure. We have no real information where it came from. We just don't know. So the only thing I can give you is my personal opinion.
Yep.
I personally, as a result of my experience, will wear a mask, because I'd hate the thought that I gave it to somebody's grandchildren or children or anybody really.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do that, and I would urge others to do so as well. Now, I'm not these type of woke people who go running up to people and scream at them because they're not wearing masks. I'm not going to do that. But that's just my personal position. I would recommend that people wear masks. I don't like the idea of government authority intervening in such a choice like this, even though it affects the entire population. What is your position on masks as a man, Jesse? Would you care to share it?
I firmly believe in local control, and when I come up to Fort Dodge and I see signs on stores that say, "Hey, mask is required."
Hey, he's got a right to do it. I'll put on a mask then.
I don't have a problem. But when I don't see those signs and I don't see people sensitive about it, I personally am not sensitive about it. One day, the most interesting mask experience that I've had, I was running on a treadmill one day, and I was the only guy in the weight room, and I had my mask on my chin because I didn't want to wear it while I was on the treadmill. And there was an older gentleman that saw me through the window and got upset and was signing.
Aren't those people annoying?
Signing
I mean,
to
they
me that-
see you across the room or across the street.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about. Some of these woke characters. I didn't mean to imply they were just young people.
Yeah.
Oh God, I was down in Iowa City a while ago. Woke City in Iowa.
Mhm.
Jesus, I can't. You can't do anything in those places without somebody admonishing you. For God's sake.
But in that weight
So
room,
you were on the treadmill. I'd give $10 to see that, wouldn't you, Tim?
Bad things happen when you're exercising.
but yeah, that weight room had a mask policy mandate. But I just couldn't imagine running 8 mile an hour on a treadmill having to wear a mask. And
Oh, you can't do it.
I'm pretty
You
sure
can't.
I lost a vote on that one.
Yeah,
But,
well, that's okay. I go to the rec center
yeah.
and the place out on the highway, the 24-hour rec,
Mhm.
and I don't wear a mask, and there's nobody in there that does.
Yeah, when I get in that situation, they say, "Who do you think you are?" I just say Mike Devine.
That's
So
right.
it works great. for
Name
me.
drop, name drop, because I will let them know where I stand.
Don't ever use your own name and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Well, there's a couple of people in Iowa City who met me in the Hy-Vee parking lot on the east side of town that never want to talk to me again. They found me very disagreeable. and I thought, well, really, this is what I thought. I'll get it off me here in just a minute, I promise. Who the hell do these people think they are anyway? I guess they're the saviors of the universe or something. I don't know. We're talking about something serious, and we're struggling with what to do about it. And I guess the real question I have is, when are we going to get vaccines for older people such as myself? Because I'm ready to rock. I had Carrie Preston on here yesterday from Webster County Public Health.
Sounds like isn't the first week in February they're going to start
First week in February.
vaccinating out at the mall,
Uh,
or they don't know yet exactly what's going to happen.
I
I think they're trying to work out the logistics of parking and getting people in and out, and you have to have a place where people sit for a short period of time so they don't have a bad reaction,
Right.
and that kind of stuff. So I know that, and I told you that the county supervisors are working on that. I know, probably with the city and with the health department, and because the health department comes under the
county.
So.
Yeah. I think Carrie said there will be a couple of locations or
Good.
3 locations in
Good.
town. The Crossroads, what used to be the Crossroads Mall, probably. I don't know what.
Mhm.
I haven't been inside the Crossroads Mall in a while, but I drove by it today, and it's going to change.
Yeah.
It's going to look entirely different here very shortly.
And what's the number of vaccines that they're talking about releasing?
I don't know. I know that I think Governor Reynolds was on yesterday, wasn't she? And a little disappointed on how many vaccines actually came to the state of Iowa, but was very pleased in how quickly we were getting them out. We're not wasting any, like some states just can't get people there quick enough. In Iowa, in a small town or even in Fort Dodge, when the word gets out that they need people to take a vaccine, I mean, you're going to get people to show up, and they will be there in a heartbeat. Whereas I suppose some of these larger cities, they don't have that, that quick of a return time on getting the word out to people. I don't know. We're fortunate to live in an average sized community, not small and not super large, and we know who our neighbors are, and
sure.
And all that. We're just fortunate to live in that type of an area.
Sure. This is AM 1400 KVFT, the voice of Fort Dodge. Our guest is Senator Tim Kreinbeck and Jesse Green. Jesse, who's getting his feet wet down in the State House. Do you have any regrets over there, Jesse?
Oh no,
you got yourself all tied up in this thing.
It's a good time. One of my favorite relationships so far in life has been was with my grandfather, and with Tim and Ken Rosenboom. I have so many grandfather figures now.
Ken Rosenboom, really?
Yeah, they're taking good care of me. So.
All right.
Yeah.
He doesn't even look at me as a brother. He thinks I'm a grandpa. I mean, I could have been his dad. I can see that.
See,
but
you're
not
feeling
his
your
grandpa.
age there, aren't you, quarterback? That's when I knew I was getting older. Well, I could be your father or grandfather. Oh God, I really could.
No, it's been a good experience.
He better watch out. Initiation hasn't happened yet. Hazing.
I'll just put this on you. Pick up a copy of Animal House, the great late 1970s. That's what's coming. All right. Tim and Jesse are here, and we're going to be coming back.
Michael Devine, the Doctor of Truth.
Does anyone have anything they'd like to confess?
At AM 1400 KVFT.
329, only 16 degrees. I think it's Trump's fault. It's cold. Anyway, the news is coming up.
Hi, my name is Suzanne Geis. I tried everything to control my anxiety. Nothing worked. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't run my business. Anxiety paralyzed me, aging me terribly. I heard about Mark Patrick anxiety seminars from friends that were successful at Mark Patrick's weight loss and stop smoking seminars. My friends bragged about how easy they stopped smoking with Mark and how easy it was to lose weight. I went to Mark Patrick anxiety seminar, and now I always hear Mark's voice in my head. I really love that. My anxiety is gone.